What happens when the men refuse to fight? What happens when a kingdom is on the brink and silence fills the room? One woman stood up and changed everything. This is the story of Yaa Asantewaa, Queen Mother of the Ashanti Empire, the woman they called Africa's Joan of Arc. Born into the Asona royal clan around 1840, she was a respected leader long before she held a gun. She was a successful farmer and a sharp political mind, serving as the trusted advisor to her brother, the ruler of Ejisu. But in 1896, the British struck. They arrested the king, the Asantewaa, and exiled him across the ocean. They took her grandson, too. The leadership was gutted. The empire was left bleeding. Yaa Asantewaa became the regent, the guardian of her district's soul. But the British weren't finished. In March 1900, Governor Frederick Hodgson arrived in Kumasi. He didn't just want territory, he wanted total submission. He demanded the Golden Stool. He asked, "Why am I not sitting on it? I am the representative of the paramount power." He didn't understand. To the Ashanti, the Sikadwa Kofi wasn't a throne, it was the nation's soul. It was believed to have fallen from the sky. Not even the king sat on it. It was too sacred for any human to touch. For a white man to demand to sit on it was an act of supreme sacrilege. It was a declaration of total war. The chiefs gathered in secret. They were terrified. The British had machine guns. They had armies. Some argued for peace. Some argued for surrender. Silence filled the room once again. The Nana Yaa Asantewaa stood up. She had heard enough. She said, "If you, the chiefs of Asante, are going to behave like cowards, then you should exchange your loincloths for my undergarments." To prove she meant it, she seized a gun and fired it. She shamed the men into their own strength. She was appointed commander-in-chief, the first and only woman in Ashanti history to hold that rank. An army of 5,000 warriors mobilized with calculated precision. The War of the Golden Stool had begun. They cut the telegraph wires. They blocked every route to the coast. The British governor was trapped. For 3 months, the British were held in a stranglehold. They were reduced to eating rats and grass to survive. Asantewaa used talking drums to communicate across the dense forest, haunting the British officers in the night. They built massive stockades, defensive walls that even British cannons struggled to penetrate. This was tactical genius. But the British Empire had deeper pockets. In July, a massive relief force arrived with superior firepower. It was the bloodiest war in Ashanti history. Over 3,000 lives were lost in the struggle for the stool. By 1901, the resistance began to crumble. Yaa Asantewaa was captured and locked in the Kumasi fort. This was her cell, a tiny dark room for a woman whose spirit filled an entire kingdom. She was deported to the Seychelles, exiled 3,000 miles away from the land she fought to protect. She lived in exile for 20 years. She took the name Elizabeth, but she never stopped being the Queen Mother. She died on October 17, 1921. She never saw her homeland again, but her work was done. The British never found the Golden Stool. It remained hidden in the forest for decades, protected by her silence. In 1924, her remains were brought home. She finally received the royal burial she deserved. She is the spiritual grandmother of Ghana's independence. Her dream of a free nation was realized in 1957. Today, her name is a synonym for courage, a reminder of what happens when one voice refuses to stay silent. History remembers kings, but what about the others? What about the queen who saved a nation's soul? If you believe history deserves receipts, click the link to see more warrior queens. Like, comment, and subscribe for the full story.